thought for 4 seconds. Imagine uncovering a tiny piece of British history in your pocket, a seemingly ordinary 2 pence coin from 1971 that, at first glance, looks like every other penny. But stick with me, because this little copper-clad treasure can be worth hundreds, thousands, even more than £10,000 in the right circumstances. In this video, I'm going to reveal the fascinating story behind the 1971 2p, show you exactly what makes certain specimens unbelievably rare, and explain why collectors are paying up to, and sometimes well beyond, 4 or 5-figure sums to add one of these coins to their collections. Stay with me until the very end, and I promise you'll be itching to dig through your change to see if you've got the next numismatic jackpot hiding in plain sight. 1. The dramatic introduction of decimalization, 1971. In 1971, the United Kingdom underwent a monetary revolution, Decimal Day. On February 15, the old pounds, shillings, and pence system was retired, giving way to a simpler decimal system, 100 new pence to the pound. To facilitate this change, the Royal Mint struck a brand new series of coins, including the now iconic 2 pence. For the first time, 2 pence, equivalent to the old shilling and threepence, would live on in a modern, standardized form. The designers faced the daunting task of creating coins that were instantly recognizable, durable, and secure against counterfeiting. Artist Christopher Ironside was commissioned to design the reverse, a crowned portcullis, surmounted by the heraldic portcullis of Henry VII, evoking strength, stability, and a nod to British heritage. 2. Basic specs: what the regular 1971 2p looks like. Most 1971 2 pence coins measure 25.9 millimeters in diameter and are made of bronze, 97% copper, 2.5% zinc, 0.5% tin. The obverse features Queen Elizabeth II, its fourth portrait, sculpted by Arnold Machin. Her profile looking regal yet youthful, wearing the Girls of Great Britain and Ireland tiara. The reverse, Ironside's portcullis design, is crisp and bold. In total, over 360 million 2p coins were struck in 1971, making them one of the most common coins to enter circulation. Most of these coins circulated extensively, picking up nicks, scuffs, and discoloration. In average circulated condition, a 1971 2p is often worth no more than face value, just 2 pence. 3. The rarity factor: what separates the ordinary from the extraordinary. However, within that colossal mintage hides a tiny fraction of extraordinary anomalies and special issues that command premium prices. Let's break them down. Brilliant uncirculated (BU) bag coins. In 1971, the Royal Mint also released bagged mint sets, pouches of uncirculated 2p coins intended for transactions. These coins never touched a pocket, so their luster remained sharp. A genuine 1971 BU 2p in flawless condition can fetch anywhere from £5 to £20 at auction. But sometimes, a near-perfect specimen graded by professional services as MS67, Mint STA T67, can exceed £200, hundreds of pounds for a 2p. Proof coins: the Royal Mint produced very limited quantities of 1971 proof sets, struck on polished planchets with mirrored fields and frosted design elements. Only about 100,000 proof 2p coins exist from 1971. A typical proof 2p will sell for roughly £30 to £50, but high-grade examples, especially with original Royal Mint packaging, have crossed the £300 to £400 threshold at specialist coin auctions. That's hundreds of pounds for a 2 pence piece. Error coins: the true jackpot. Off-center strikes: perhaps the most dramatic error is an off-center strike, where the dies missed the center of the planchet. Even a 5% off-center error, where only a tiny sliver of the portcullis is cut off, can be worth £200 to £400. But if you find a 25 to 30% off-center piece, collectors will compete fiercely, driving prices to £800 to £1,500. Some extreme off-center 1971 2p coins have sold for over £2,000 at auction. Double strikes. On rare occasions, a single coin passes through the press twice, resulting in a shadow image, that ghostly second imprint of the Queen's portrait or portcullis. A slight doubling might fetch £300 to £500, but a dramatic double-strike 2p from 1971 has achieved prices close to £3,000. Planchet flaws and clipped planchets. Occasionally, the metal blank itself was flawed, either imperfectly cut, clipped, or bearing internal cracks that manifested as bubbles on the surface after striking. Minor planchet issues might be worth £50 to £100, but more pronounced defects can fetch £300 to £600, sometimes even more if the defect is visually striking. Wrong planchet, extremely rare, but a handful of 1971 planchets intended for other denominations somehow got struck as 2p. Imagine an old bronze halfpenny planchet bearing a 2 new pence design. That's an instant collectible requiring expert verification. These wrong planchet 2p coins can exceed £5,000 to £10,000 in private treaty sales. 4. How to spot a potential goldmine in your change. First, check the date, 1971. Next, examine the rim. Does it look perfectly centered? Are the raised edges consistent all the way around? If you spot a 2p where the portcullis seems cut off or gravitated toward one side, that's a red flag for an error. Use a magnifying glass to inspect doubling. Look for ghost images, especially on the Queen's cheek or the motto, DG Reg FD. Finally, study the planchet. Any unusual shapes, clips, or cracks could indicate a rare variety. In good lighting, hold the coin at different angles. Proof coins will shimmer with a mirror-like finish. 5. Real-world sales and values, hundreds to thousands. Common circulated 1971 2p, grade G to F face value. Very fine, VF, condition, 10 pence to £1. Extremely fine, EF 2 to £5. Brilliant uncirculated bag, MS60 to MS63 5 to £20. High-grade mint state, MS64 to MS66 50 to £200. 1971 proof 2p, original packaging £30 to £50, some MS69 examples, £300 plus. Off-center error, small 5 to 10% offset £200 to £400. Off-center error, large 20 to 30% offset £800 to £1,500 plus. Double strike, subtle doubling £300 to £500. Double strike, dramatic doubling £1,500 to £3,000. Wrong planchet 2p, incredibly rare £5,000 to £10,000 or more, depending on condition and provenance. Yes, you heard that right, a small copper coin, original face value of 2 pence, can be worth tens of thousands of pounds when the stars align perfectly. 6. Why these coins matter beyond their melt value. Collectors don't just value these coins for the metal or the novelty, they represent a pivotal moment in British monetary history. Decimalization reshaped everyday transactions. 2 pence coins became the building blocks of pocket money, bus fares, and candy purchases. Error coins remind us that even the most efficient minting operation can produce unexpected mint miracles. Each 1971 2p error is like discovering a misprinted stamp or a miscut painting. It's a tangible glitch in the system that tells a story. 7. Wrapping up and call to action. So next time you find a 1971 2 new pence in your loose change, don't toss it aside. Examine it under good light. Is the portcullis perfectly centered? Does the Queen's portrait look solid, or is there a faint echo of doubling? Could the planchet be slightly off in shape or weight? If you even suspect something unusual, send clear, sharp photographs to a reputable coin dealer, or better yet, get it graded by a professional service. You could be sitting on hundreds or thousands of pounds, maybe an entire small fortune, in your coin jar. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed diving into the world of rare 1971 2p coins, smash that like button, subscribe for more numismatic treasure hunts, and drop a comment below telling us the oddest coin you've ever found. Who knows? Your next 2 pence might just pay for your next vacation.